There are moments in life you don't see coming, moments where someone pushes you just a little too far, and something inside you finally snaps into clarity. That's exactly what happened the night my son-in-law, Ethan, decided to embarrass me in front of the entire family during dinner. He thought he was being clever, thought he was putting an old man in his place, thought he could get a laugh at my expense. But what he didn't know, what he couldn't have known, was that I'd been holding on to a truth powerful enough to silence every person at that table. And when I finally said it, his face drained of color so fast it was like someone pulled his soul right out. It all started on a Sunday. My daughter Lily had invited me over for a family dinner at her home. She tries to do it every couple of weeks because she knows I get lonely since my wife passed 3 years ago. I always appreciated just sitting with her, the grandkids, hearing the noise of life around me again. But ever since she married Ethan, dinners have felt different. He's always been polite on the surface, but there's something underneath, something sharp. A smugness. A quiet arrogance. He makes subtle comments about old people being stuck in their ways, or jokes that I don't understand how the world works anymore. I usually ignore it. I'm 67. I've lived long enough to know what battles are worth fighting. But that night, he pushed me 1 inch too far. I arrived at their house around 6 p.m. The grandkids ran to hug me, which instantly made my whole week. Lily was cooking, smiling, humming the way her mother used to. Everything felt peaceful until Ethan walked in from the hallway, loosened tie, drink already in hand, smirking for no reason at all. "Ah, the man of the hour," he said dramatically. "We thought you might have forgotten how to get here." I gave him a polite smile. GPS works pretty well these days. Dinner was served. Roast chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans. Lily inherited her mother's talent for cooking. We all sat down, chatting about harmless things, school, work, the weather. Then, halfway through the meal, the shift happened. The moment that turned an ordinary family dinner into something else entirely. Ethan cleared his throat and said loudly, "So, everyone, guess what dad-in-law here did today?" I blinked. "What did I do today?" He grinned. "Lily told me you went to the bank and couldn't figure out how to use the digital kiosk." Held up the line for 10 minutes, apparently. The table went silent. My cheeks warmed. Not because I was embarrassed about the bank thing. I wasn't. I simply asked a young teller for help navigating the touchscreen. It took maybe 2 minutes, not 10. But Ethan exaggerated it, turned it into a joke at my expense, and delivered it with that same smug tone he always used when talking about me. He wasn't sharing a story, he was mocking me. Lily's eyes widened, and she shot her husband a glare. "Ethan, that's not what I said." But he just chuckled. "Oh, come on. It's funny." He gets confused easily. It happens at that age. He lifted his glass of wine as if to toast to it. The kids looked uncomfortable. Lily mouthed, "I'm sorry" at me. And that's when something inside me clicked. For months, no, years, I had let Ethan get away with little comments, snide remarks, subtle digs. All because I didn't want to cause tension in my daughter's marriage. I didn't want to be the difficult in-law. I didn't want to be the father who couldn't take a joke. But that night, watching him puff his chest, watching my daughter shrink in embarrassment, watching my grandchildren look confused, something finally rose inside me. A quiet strength. The strength age gives you the patience that eventually runs out. I set down my fork, wiped my mouth calmly, and said, "Ethan, I'm curious. Why do you feel the need to belittle me?" His smile faltered. "I wasn't." "You were," I said, my voice steady. "So answer the question." The entire table froze. Lily stared at me. The kids looked back and forth like they were watching a tennis match. Ethan let out a nervous laugh. "It was just a joke." I held his gaze. A joke requires 2 people to be laughing. "Do you see anyone laughing?" His eyes darted around the table. Silence. Then I leaned in slightly. "Since you brought up what I did today, maybe it's fair I bring up something you did today." His head snapped up. "What do you mean?" I folded my napkin slowly, letting the anticipation build. "Your boss called me this afternoon." Ethan's face drained instantly. What?" "He called me," I repeated calmly. "Personally? To ask for a reference?" Lily's fork clattered onto her plate. A reference? For what? Ethan swallowed hard. Dad, don't. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. The truth was louder than anger. Your company is considering you for the regional manager position, I said. And your boss wanted to know if I believed you had integrity. Lily gasped. Integrity? Ethan pushed his chair back an inch, panic creeping across his face. Dad, please, but I wasn't done. I didn't tell him about the jokes, I said quietly. Or the disrespect. Or how you treat Lily when you think no one notices. His head jerked up. Lily's eyes snapped to him. What? She whispered. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. I continued. I didn't tell him how you belittle your wife's accomplishments, or how you make your children afraid to spill a glass of water. Lily covered her mouth with trembling fingers. Ethan was pale, truly pale now. I didn't tell him any of that, I said. Because unlike you, Ethan, I don't embarrass my family. The table went completely still. Even the kids didn't move. My voice softened. Instead, I told him you were intelligent, hardworking, capable. I told him you had potential. I told him you cared for your family. My eyes narrowed. I lied for you, Ethan, because I wanted my daughter and grandchildren to have stability. Because I wanted to believe you were better than the way you act. Ethan's hands shook uncontrollably. Lily stared at him, tears welling. Is that true? She whispered. Did Dad lie for you? Ethan couldn't even look up. He nodded weakly. I took a deep breath and finished with the sentence that turned him. White as a ghost, and now I'm wondering if I should call him back. His head snapped up. No, please don't. He looked like a man who had just realized the ground beneath him was gone. I'm sorry. I really am. I didn't mean, but Lily finally found her voice. Ethan, you humiliate my father every chance you get. And he still protected you. Do you even realize how shameful that is? He looked at her helplessly, then turned to me. I'm sorry, he repeated. I shouldn't have said what I said. I shouldn't have treated you that way. I've been stressed, and stress doesn't create character, I interrupted. It reveals it. He closed his eyes, defeated. After a long moment, Lily stood up and said, Ethan, go to the living room. I need to talk to Dad alone. He obeyed instantly, something I had never seen him do. After he left, Lily sat beside me and put her head on my shoulder like she used to when she was little. Dad, thank you, she whispered, for protecting us. Even when we didn't know you were. I kissed the top of her head. You're my daughter. I'll always protect you. We talked for a long time about her marriage, about respect, about boundaries. And when Ethan finally returned, he apologized again, genuinely this time. Not the forced charm he usually used. This was real, humble, shaken, and for the first time since she married him, I saw a man who might actually learn, might actually grow, might actually change. As for the job, I didn't call his boss back. I didn't need to. Ethan learned his lesson at that dinner table when he realized that belittling an old man wasn't as harmless as he thought, especially when that old man was the very person holding his future in his hands. And from that night on, he never mocked me again. Instead, every Sunday dinner since then, he pulls out my chair, asks me about my day, and speaks to me with something he never gave me before, respect. Because sometimes a single comeback spoken calmly, spoken honestly, can shake a man harder than any shout ever could.